All right, so typical same old Jets performance today, but who can be upset? I mean, they looked pretty good at times. They, offensively showed something. They hung in there. I mean, except for Adam Gase, he never hangs in there, but we'll get to that. And they still lost, right? So we didn't destroy the tank for Trevor thing. I'm finding it harder and harder to root against them as they play better, but at the end of the day, when the emotions calm down, I'm much happier for it. So let's do some positives first. All right, it's a little bit of a dark sider podcast. No, we're not a podcast. A little bit of a dark sider channel, but you know, the Jets did have some positives. So let's do them. Let's start with the biggest positive for me. All right, Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims looks like he's a pretty good receiver. All right, he goes up for balls. He makes crazy twisting catches, and then the one catch he made near the end of the game, one of his last catches, not the one where he went deep. He didn't make the catch on this one, not the one where he went deep on the touchdown, but the one right before that. He turned around and kind of got this kind of thing going, right? I haven't seen a Jet receiver go up for a ball like that with his leg extended forward and him catching the ball like this and falling back. And I don't remember. They're always, the Jet receivers are always, going up with the defender and losing the ball and whatever. But this kid just looks good. I would like to see him in a situation where he can actually show whether or not he's got speed. Either he catches the ball and breaks away, or they send him deep and throw the ball to him. He hasn't illustrated that much speed yet. He's supposed to have speed, so we'll see. But it doesn't seem to me like he's been in too many situations where he could show speed. So, but Mims is a positive. Okay, Bryce Hall, the defender, the new cornerback, the rookie, got beat a couple of times, but he looks pretty solid to me. I mean, he was in on a lot of plays. He seems to have the right enthusiasm. So I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic about him. The Jets hung in there, right? They were down 24 to what was it? It's 24 to I forgot the score already. It's 24 to 6. It's 24 to 6. 21 to 6. 21 to 6 at halftime. And then we're down 31-13 somewhere in the third quarter, and fought back and had a legitimate shot to try and tie the game late in the game. So the Jets, they hung in there. They did not quit. The players did not quit. Well, Adam Gase, once again, Adam Gase quit. He quits all the time, but we'll get to him in a minute. So finally, the defense. I think there's a great comparison to be made about the defense and the offense and how neither one has that much talent. The defense has probably a little bit more overall talent, but has more injuries. The offense does not have as much talent. And you see the difference. Like, the defense gets beat and they don't look good a lot of the time, but they look like they're ready. They look like they're prepared most of the time. I'm not going to say all the time, but they just look like they're getting beat because they're not good, as opposed to they're laying down. Whereas the offense a lot of the time just lays down and just doesn't look good. So the defense is what the Jets as an overall team should have been all year. The Jets are a bad team who should have been in more games, should have been competing better. And even if they were still 0-10, can't believe I'm saying 0-10. The Jets were still 0-10, but they could have at least looked like they had a clue. And the defense a lot of the time does. They get beat a lot. They give up a lot of big plays, and God damn the penalties. Enough with the freaking roughing the passer penalties already. So, but anyway, that's kind of the comparison there. Now, the game itself. The Jets are the only team that I have ever seen that will consistently win turnover battles and still lose games. They did not necessarily do that today, but in the first 12 minutes of the first quarter, the Jets got a blocked punt, fell on it, put that ball in the end zone, took the lead, missed the extra point, of course, because that's very Jets. Then on the ensuing drive, I almost said San Diego Chargers got down to the 2-yard line and fumbled, and the Jets recovered it, right? So now in the first 10, 12 minutes of the first quarter, probably about 12 minutes of the first quarter, the Jets had a lead, had a blocked punt, and had a turnover, a huge turnover after a long drive. And on the very next play, Flacco throws an inexplicable pass into the flat where a guy basically just catches it, steps into the end zone. Boom, momentum gone, game over. Now, the Jets could have just went in the tank completely. They didn't. They hung in there. But Adam Gase, as a microcosm of the Jets, as a whole, the team the team fell behind and looked dead for a little while, but then hung in there and came back, which I'll give the players credit, I'll give the defense credit. Adam Gase is like that school coward who tries to shoot his mouth off, and then as soon as he gets slapped in the mouth, he just whimpers in the corner and doesn't do anything. And that's Adam Gase. The second anything goes wrong, he folds up and he pitches his tent and starts getting all conservative and doesn't want to try hard anymore. That's really what it seems like. And one of the things I'm going to get to near the end of the game, where Adam Gase I've said this before, he is so allergic to first downs, and I just don't get why he does not consider the first down an important part of football. It's probably the most important part of football beyond scoring. So, and you need first downs to score. So the Jets come out looking good, and they put themselves in a terrible spot with that with that interception that went in, and then after that the wheels came off completely, and the Jets they went down 21-6 in the middle of the second quarter, and just they were never back in the game until the third quarter when they did get back in the game, but they just allowed themselves at that moment to kind of react badly to something big that happened instead of saying, damn it, we got the turnover, we blocked the punt, we're in this game. They said, oh golly, here we go again, and boom, and that was the end of that. So one of these things that happened during this was Berrios. I mean, this is when the Jets start making bad decisions. Berrios fields a punt 3 yards deep in the end zone and takes it out and gets to the 13-yard line. Okay, bad decision. It happens. Not the end of the world. So the next time he gets the kickoff, now he's only like a yard deep in the end zone, and he just immediately kneels. It didn't even look to me like he surveyed the field to see if he's going to go. So the first time he does it, he only gets to about the 13 or 14-yard line, and then says, okay, well, I'm done. He's not going to try and run it out of the end zone again. And that's just that is a small, tiny example of the Jets' attitude in general. When something goes wrong, they stop doing it, and they stop being aggressive. They stop. I wouldn't say trying to win. It's like they don't know how to get up after they hit the floor. I mean, that's the best way to put it. So, the defense sucks. The offense sucks. Both are devoid of talent. I'm reading off of my notes here, and actually, I just made that point, so never mind. Okay, so let's keep on going. I forget who the play-by-play guy was one guy, but the color analyst at one point when the Jets were about to punt on a fourth down, when they were, I forget what the score was, it was 14-6 or 21-6, whatever it was, and he said, this would be a great time for a fake punt. You're 0-9, what do you have to lose? And I just had to laugh to myself, because these guys are supposed to prepare for the game and get to know their team they're announcing about, and clearly he did no research on Adam Gase whatsoever. There's no way Adam Gase would try a fake punt down 21-6 or 14-6 or whatever when things are not going well. It's almost like he just wants to hold on until the storm passes. He will never grab the bull by the horns and try and move forward. So the other thing I picked up was that the Chargers secondary, the Jets secondary was completely banged up. So the Chargers come out and immediately attack, right? They go after the rookie. The rookie made a couple of plays. They weren't huge plays, but you notice that they stopped going directly at him on every play because passes and runs, everything was running right at Bryce Hall. After that, they kind of spread it around. But, Justin Herbert had 250 yards halfway through the second quarter, and, he attacked the Jets' weakness. When do the Jets ever do that? Late in the game at one point, the Chargers cornerback got hurt or whatever happened. He came out of the game, and the Jets immediately went to the other side of the field. And then first ran it, of course. First they ran it, then they went to the other side of the field. They didn't even try and attack the guy who maybe he was decent, but he's a backup, and he just came in the game. Maybe he's cold, maybe he didn't stretch enough, maybe you try and take advantage of that fact. Nope, not the Jets. Chargers took advantage of the Jets' weakness, and you see what happened. They went off. Now, the Chargers are a choking team. They almost gave this game away. They've given away a ton of games. So I'm not sure whether the Chargers made the adjustments or the Jets did. But in the second half, the Chargers didn't have nearly as much oomph. And so I have to think it was the Chargers going in the tank a little bit, because I've never seen the Jets make adjustments. Just an observation. Maybe the defense, but. So, but the thing is with the Jets is that they just don't know how to even compete. They can compete up to a certain point, but then when it gets real, things fall apart. Now, here is my biggest my biggest gripe with Adam Gase tonight, because I have a lot of gripes with him every week. And I mentioned earlier in this that, Adam Gase does not like to go for first downs. So it is now 34-28. Yeah, it's 34-28. No, at the time it was 34-26, I think. Or was it 34? Whatever. I forget whether it was before, they gave the ball back to the Chargers and the Chargers took the safety, or it was after when the Jets were coming down trying to actually win the game. I believe it was the very end of the game. But whatever the case was, there was a minute something left, and yeah, I really don't remember. Anyway, the point is, it doesn't matter for the game. The point is, the Jets have a chance to either tie or win the game, and it's first and 10, obviously. Jets are on maybe the 40-yard line, something like that. Minute and a half left. Jets have 2 timeouts left. So they first play they threw Flacco was under pressure, threw the ball away. He threw it way out of way. I mean, he didn't even try and make a play. Next 2 plays. Right now, don't forget, there's timeouts left. There's a minute and change. It must have been a minute and 20 seconds, minute and 30 seconds. No, it was a minute and 15, something like that. And they throw the next 2 balls into the end zone. 3 passes into the, was it 2 or 3? Whatever the case was. I think there was a run play, then he threw it away, then it was 2. Because 3rd and 4th down, they threw the ball into the end zone from the 40-yard line, where you can get a first down, you have timeouts, and there's a minute and a half left. Why? Why are you being super aggressive in that spot when all you need is a first down? Get 10, 12, 15 yards or 2 plays for 5 yards each and get the first down, and then keep the drive alive. Why go into the end zone on 3rd and 4th down, on 3rd and 10 and 4th and 10 when you're down 6 points or down 8 points, whatever it was at that time? I don't even remember the exact score at that moment because, after the Chargers safety, I think the Jets didn't get the ball back with enough time after that. Whatever the case is the point is there's no reason to be super aggressive there. Get a freaking first down. That is the whole point. And this is what I mean by Adam Gase having no clue about situational and fundamental football. First downs are what everything you need to do involves getting first downs. Unless, of course, you think you're playing Madden where you can throw 50-yard and 60-yard bombs on every play. But that's not going to work in the NFL. Probably doesn't even work in college. It may not even work in high school. It works on video games. So there's no reason whatsoever there to pack it in and try throwing balls into the end zone like it's the end of the half, or a Hail Mary like it's the end of the game. It makes no sense at all. Speaking of one of those plays, I don't understand how that's not a pass interference call for Denzel Mims. I mean, the guy was falling backwards. His guy was on top of him. I understand they were jostling and both had contact, but the guy never turned around. He was pretty much laying on top of Mims, never turned around. The ball hit the defender, or maybe it hit Mims' hands. I forget. Whatever. I don't understand how that's not pass interference. Now, granted, if it was pass interference, the Jets probably win that game. So, thank you. But, the fan in me just wants to see a call there. Just give me a call. All right, one other thing about Herbert. All right, Herbert looks like the real deal to me. The one play where, if you have any doubt about a kid who came into the game with 19 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in his first year with a quarterback rating over 100, if you had any doubts about him at all, I think one play in this game erased any doubts for me, and that was the touchdown to Keenan Allen, where when they showed the replay from behind Herbert, he went to throw the ball when Allen had just gotten to the end zone and was starting to make his turn, and the defender had his back turned. So what Herbert did was throw a bullet right at a spot next to Keenan Allen, where Keenan Allen made his turn and caught the ball like this, and the defender never even got to see the ball. By the time he turned around, it was already in Allen's hands. Now, that there is, when I played in the Sandlot, you threw the ball when the guy had to be wide open. And you always hear things like, in the NFL, nobody's open, right? But it takes rookies a long time to learn that, because even in Sandlot, of course, but even high school and college, guys are open. They have 2 steps. You just throw it. You just throw it to a point where they're going to be, and if you time it right, it's a touchdown. This was an all-pro play where he threw it to a spot. And it wasn't a spot play to begin with. He threw it to the spot where Allen was going to be when Allen turned around and had it there. As soon as Allen turned around, and the corner never had the chance. And that to me right there showed me that Justin Herbert's the real deal. I would love to have a quarterback like that. And that is kid's in his first year. What's he going to be like, when he gets a little experience and moves on? Anyway, Jets 0-10. Next 5 games, they don't have much of a chance. So the only game is, I mean, I guess technically they could beat Miami, right? Next week, technically. Do you really think they're gonna though? I don't. They're not beating Seattle. They're not beating the Rams. They got Cleveland. Can they beat Cleveland if Cleveland has an off day? I guess. And then they end the season against New England. So we are legitimately looking at 0-16 here, kids, and they're going to need it because Jacksonville stinks. They're going to keep losing, and then then we can spend the whole winter and early spring arguing about whether we take Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, or trade the pick. But the Jets now when you get to 0-10 and you got a tough schedule, you can legitimately start thinking you're going to be 0-16. So looks like we're at that point now. Anyway, enough of that. It's get ready for the week. I figure a lot of you by Thursday and Friday will get restless and start giving some great Facebook posts I can put out there. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm not sure I'll get out here again before Thanksgiving. If I do, great. If I do not, have a great holiday. Stay safe, stay healthy. All right, take care.